afternoon, everyone. I'm Miss Catherine, and I would like to thanks to the Center for Corporate and Community Development, CCCD, and the Malaysia Mental Literacy Movement, MMLM, for inviting me having this very wonderful seminar with you all. And today, I would like to share with you on a secret recipe to memorize easily. Okay, so let's think about this one. Okay, so which one do you think that it is easier for you? And why? Is it you think that it's easier to forget or it is easier to remember? You may give me some response on the chat box. Okay, from Syria, forget is much easier. Okay, and from Lavina, both is difficult. Okay, so I can see from here that majority of you say absolutely is forget. Okay, now may I ask you, which moment or which incident that you can remember the most? Can you think of that? What is the things that you can remember? Don't say about the studies or any event that you are able to remember. Oh yeah, Rachel, you say holiday. Yeah, okay. From Heng Yoyi, you say the things that we are interested, agree. Yeah, so the things that is about whether we are able to remember something which is interesting, and we tend to forget those that are not interesting. Are you agree with that? Okay, yeah. So thanks for those who respond on the chat. Yeah, so we do agree this statement, right? So it means we tend to remember something that attract us and something that make us interesting, okay? But we tend to forget those that are so boring, okay? Like not so relevant to us, okay? So this is a reason. Okay, let's look at the next slide. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, how good is your memory? Let's say from a scale 1 to 10. Okay, how many score you will rate your own memory? I'll give you some time to type on the meeting chat. Okay, some of you write 5. The maximum mark I see is 6.85. All right, some are 6. Okay, 6 to 7 depends, means about half. Slightly higher than average. Okay, some are very low. You give yourself 2 or 3, right? So why you will say this is a score you get? Is it because of you think that you have a bad memory, so that's why you give you your own score is like very low? So someone say, I don't want to embarrass myself. Okay, now I believe for those who are attending the webinar today, you would like to know what is the secret recipe, right? The title is so attractive, right? So you want to know what's the recipe that I'm going to share with you all? Yes, okay. So just for information, my slide, not many information, but more on like very simple things, okay? Because I believe that to memorize things easily, we don't make it complicated. But just how you already said, right? We tend to remember something that is interesting, right? And very fun. So that's why we have to make it fun, right? All right. So let's look at the next part. Okay. Now, do you know that we have 10 best food, okay, to boost your brain and memory? But of course, when we say that 10 best food doesn't mean that you only consume these 10 foods, right? It's just that the other foods also contribute, all right? But all these, the listed one here will be giving the most impact, okay, to our brain and memory. So do you know what is that? Or do you want to know what's that? It's food, right? It's a secret recipe, so all are related to food. Okay, now let's look at one by one. Okay, so what's the first one? Think about it. Since young, okay, your parents always ask you to eat what? You must eat this so that it's good for your brain, right? You always heard this statement, right? So what's that? I saw some. Yes, the fish, right? Okay, yeah. So there's a research said the fatty fish. Oh, what's a fatty fish? There are so many types of fish, right? For example, the fatty fish is like the salmon, the sardine that will give the omega-3. Okay, so this is a type of fats that actually used to build our brain, okay, and also the neuron cell. Okay, so that's why you have to consume, but doesn't mean that all your meals must have a salmon, right? So you have to make sure your diet is balanced. Okay, at least you take it. Wow, thanks for those who give a response. I see. Yes, some said walnut. Okay, the egg yolk. Yeah, we are going to look through one by one. Okay, so the first thing is the fatty fish. Is those fish that contribute the omega-3. Okay, because it can help us to sharpening our memory. Okay, so next one, blueberries. Oh, okay. I saw something very funny. It says someone says starfish. Do we eat starfish? No, we don't eat starfish, right? All right. The second one is the blueberries. Okay, so the blueberries actually contain the antioxidants. Okay, which is very good because it can help us to delay the brain aging and also improve our memory. Okay, so for those who never consume blueberries, maybe you can think of when you go to the supermarket, grocery part, okay, the fruit store, then takes the blueberries. Okay, now what about the next one? The broccoli. Okay, so this one is everywhere, right? So you know what's a broccoli, right? Broccoli is actually rich in vitamin K. Okay, and it also have antioxidants, and this effect will help us to protect the brain. All right. Oh, I saw someone say eating a shark. I think nowadays we can. Please don't eat a shark. Okay. The shark is a protected animal, so please don't take the shark fins. Okay, so please avoid that. Okay, so broccoli is very common vegetable. Okay, that you can find out. So you may consume some. Okay, to consume more vitamin K. Next one. I think this one majority of you like it. Yes, Zingy, bingo, you get it. The dark chocolate. So the dark chocolate, it should be a dark chocolate, not other types of chocolate. Why? Because the dark chocolate contains the flavonoid. Okay, and this will help us to protect the brain and also can boost our memory and the mood. It means when you eat chocolate, you'll feel happy, right? Maybe for some people, okay, maybe some people are opposite way. So this is one of the food can help us to boost our brain and the memory. Okay. Now, next one, we have walnut. So just now in the previous response, yes, the walnut, okay, or any types of nuts. Why walnut is the best among all the nuts? Because the nuts will give the vitamin E, okay, vitamin E. The walnut has one more that the walnut can give the omega-3. So that's why it can give the fatty acid, and this one can help us to protect our brain as well. Yeah. So next one. Oh, I saw someone say green tea. Yeah. So let's check whether your list is here or not. Okay. Next one is the orange. So just ask a very common question. Orange is rich in which type of vitamin? I think everyone knows, right? Yes, vitamin C. Okay, vitamin C is very important also because it can help us to defend our brain from the free radicals. Okay, so of course not only orange, any other types of fruits that contains the vitamin C, you can also consume. Okay, next one, it will be the egg. All right, just now someone said egg. Okay, egg yolk. Yeah, egg contains what type of vitamin? It contains the vitamin B6 and also the B12, right? And it also contains the choline. The choline is a very high nutrient, especially in the egg yolk. Okay, because these types of nutrients can properly help us to build the brain functioning and also good at the brain development. So it's good to have an egg every day, but don't eat too much, all right? So usually two per day is enough, but don't too over, okay? Everything should be in balance. Okay, Yeah, Zingy, the pumpkin seeds. Yeah, pumpkin seeds also one of the best food. Okay, so you can also take it. So next, yes, just now someone said green tea, right? Yeah, green tea, or maybe you can take the coffee, right? Because the green tea contain what? The caffeine. Very enough amount of caffeine can actually help us to be alert, right? Now you see some people why they must take the tea or they must take the coffee. They need to be alert all the time, right? For one whole day. So that's why if you have some, don't overdose, okay? Cannot addicted, right? But consume a suitable amount. I can also help us in boosting the memory and brain. Yeah, from Indra. I take coffee twice every day, can't stop. Yes. So smells so good, right? For the coffee. Okay, next we have avocado, right? Now, avocado is actually rich and unsaturated fat. Okay, because when you reduce this unsaturated fat, can help us to reduce the high blood pressure. Okay, so when your high blood pressure is lower, the cognitive will not be declined so obviously. So try to take some avocado. So that's why this fruit is also good for the babies, for those who just start to eat some solid food. Okay, so like for my girl, when she start to take some solid food, I also start with the avocado. All right, but you remove the seed lah. Okay, so you just take some, then they can eat it. All right, next, the number 10 will be the tomato. Okay, so tomato is actually contain what? The lycopene. Okay, it's also one type of antioxidant which can prevent from the free radical damage. Okay, because the free radical is very dangerous. Okay, it will be harm our brain. Okay, so that's why if possible you try to consume, okay, these types of food. Of course, not only these 10 foods, okay. So this is just from the research. They say this is the 10 best food. So you can try to take it or any other types, okay, but make sure the diet is balanced. All right, so you take note, but before you take note, you don't print screen, okay. Now I want you to remember it, okay, or memorize it. So use your own way. Use your own way. I give you 2 minutes. You try to remember or memorize all these 10 foods. Okay. Use your own way, but don't cheat. Don't copy down. 2 minutes from now. From Siraj, you asked, is it avocado combined with other fruit? Do you mean that you make it as a fruit juice? I'm not so sure. As far as I know, if you consume a fruit, it's better to take their original shape rather than you put it in juice, because they will lose their nutrient. So you just eat it directly. Yeah, so this is what I know. I'm sorry, I'm not the nutritionist. So maybe you can ask for those who are the expert. So if possible, we pick the original food, right? Don't mix with too many other stuff. Okay. Okay, thanks for your question. So how's everyone? Okay, now 2 minutes. Okay, it's over. All right. So you try to remember. Then later on we will check whether you still remember how many of it. Okay, now let's look at the next slide. Okay, now you try to recall. No need to put on the chat box first, no need. I want you to recall. Okay, you already use your own method to memorize, right? The 10 foods. Now it's recall time. I give you 1 minute. Okay, you record it. When I ask you, then only you respond to me. Okay, enough. Okay, then we go to the next slide. So now, these are the basic memory process. Of course, when you talk about the memory, you should know how does it work, right? Otherwise, how are you going to improve it? Okay, so the first step, it will be the encoding, then followed by the storage, right? And then only followed by the retrieval. Now, imagine when we're talking about encoding means we are going to process the information. Means you're going to read a book or you read any news to take in the new information. Okay, and you're going to store it. So store it means you are going to store it in your mind. Okay, but how? And for the retrieval means you are going to retrieve it means you are going to recall the information when you need it. Now I give you some example. For example, you have a storeroom and you have so many stuff. So if you don't really register means you don't really label it properly. You just put it anywhere that you like. Okay, so your story will be very messy, right? With a lot of stuff. And when you want to find out the things, do you think that you're able to find it out in very short time? You let me know in your in the chat box. No, right? You will take some time, right? Because it's so messy. It's not organized. So that's why you take some time. You need to find out. Okay. But if you have registered, it means you label it. Okay. Let's say, okay, this section is about all the books. This section is about all your hobbies. Okay. At least when you want to find out, you know this is a place. Or I know where is it. So we know that although the process of registering means encoding, it is very, maybe for certain people, they think that it's very troublesome. It might be takes long time, but if you are able and willing to spend some time at this stage, when you are going to retrieve it, it will be very simple. Okay? So that's why you will look at, remember, so the first stage is you are going to register it. Okay, you register the info, but using a very organized way. Okay, and then next you're going to retain it, means how you're going to store it, right? And next, when you want to record it, it will be very fast. Maybe it's just in a nanosecond. So do you believe that if your mind, you memorize it using a certain technique, you are able to record it very simple? So that's why you are here, right? You want to learn these techniques, right? Okay. Now, very good. Okay, thanks for your response. Now we look at the next slide. Okay, according to the Hermann Ebbinghaus, all right, he is a German psychologist who created this forgetting curve. Now he studied on the memory part. Okay, then from the graph, you can see that this part. Okay, can you see my pointer? Yes. So can you see this part? This is a percentage of the data remembered. Means when you start introduce the new information, okay, for sure it's 100%. Imagine you are in a lecture hall or your lecturer is teaching something new to you. So on the spot, yeah, you understand, okay, 100%, you have 100%. But imagine after one whole day, how much it will be left, okay? You left about half if you are not going to repeat it. Repeat here means you're going to do the revision, but the revision is not really necessary. Like, let's say your lecture hours is 2 hours, then you spend 2 hours on it. No. Okay, the repetition here means like at least you try to review and try to recall what you have learned today. When you have done your first repetition, you boost your memory up to 100% again. But make sure you do it within a day. Okay, otherwise what happens is that day 2, day 3, and in the end, you forget forever. Okay, so when you keep repeat and repeat after a period of time, it will be stored in your memory for long term. All right. So this is a study. So of course, the time might be different according to individuals, but it's like more or less on this curve. Okay. So we will move on to the next slide. Okay. Now we have three types of memory. The first one is the sensory memory. So can anyone tell me how many types of sensory memory we have and what are they? Okay. Yeah, thanks to the response, Sharon. Okay, 5. Okay, thanks to Hong Pei. Yeah, we have 5. Can you list out all the 5 sensory memory? What do you think of that? Which part you are using? Thanks to Rachel. Vision, audio, touch, taste, and a smell. Yeah. So that means we have 5 types of, sorry, my side here has some renovation. So hope you can hear me. Okay, we have 5 types of the sensory, the vision, right? The audio, touch by hand, okay? You smell using your nose, or you taste it using your tongue. Okay, so of course it depends on what type of knowledge or any information that you have. Okay, now when you have accessed the knowledge or information through this sensory memory, but you are not going to repeat it, okay, as what we have seen in the forgetting curve, you are tend to forget. So to prevent the loss of memory, you need to boost it and make it into the short-term memory. Okay, so if you're not going to repeat it, you will forget it one more time. Okay, and next, if you are going to rehearse, I'm sorry, today suddenly there's a renovation. And when there's a rehearsal, means you keep repeat and repeat, then it will store in our long-term memory. So that's why encoding is the most important steps, okay, among the memory process. Okay, now we go to the next page. Okay, so means you can retrieve, all right, and you can recall easily. Okay, so now I would like to share the secret recipe. Now, before I share it, can I ask you all, do you still remember that 10 best food? Can you give me the answer on the chat box? Okay, just now I give you 2 minutes to memorize it. So how many you still remember? Can you list it out? Wow, very good. Okay, so those who can remember and memorize 10 of it means your method is very good. Maybe you can continue to use it. And of course, I will share my method. Maybe you can try to use it if you think that it's very interesting. Okay, thanks to all the response. Thanks to Yi Guan. All right, Qing Yuan. Yeah, okay. Now, my secret recipe here is the association and visualization. Okay, what does it mean? It means that we try to link and you have to use the image. Okay, now from 1 to 10. So usually I can take the 1, and then you link it to the image candle. Why? Why I use candle? Because candle looks like 1. Maybe some of you ask, means do I must use a candle? Can I use any other image? Sure. All right, like necktie or pencil. Okay. Yeah. This is you can change the ingredient. Okay, for this recipe. So I just give you a guideline. Like just like when you want to learn to bake a cake, you want to use chocolate cake, you want to bake a durian cake. Maybe the method is the same. You just change the ingredient. Okay. So now try to link. 1 represents candle. Okay, done. All right, then we go to 2. So number 2, you think it as a duck. Why duck? Duck looks like 2, right? So 2 is dark. Okay, now try to link. I give you 5 seconds. Okay. Okay, done. Then we move to 3. Okay, 3 is what? Love. Why? Because if you rotate this love 90 degree, it looks like 3, right? So now try to link 3 with the love. Okay, because love looks like a 3. Okay, done. Then we move on to the next one, 4. Okay, 4, maybe you can imagine as a yak. This one looks like 4, right? So try to link the number with this image, 4. Okay, I give you 5 seconds. Okay, next, number 5. Okay, number 5. So look at your hand, it's 5, right? So maybe you can think of 5 with a hand. Okay, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Okay, link the 5 with hand. Okay, done. Number 6, ladle. Okay, number 6. When you cook the soup, you use a ladle. All right. So think of this as a 6. Okay, done. Then we move to 7. 7, maybe you can think of flag. Okay, this one looks like 7, right? So think of you have a flag, the wind is blowing, and the flag will look like 7. Okay, done. Okay, next, number 8. So maybe you can think of the hourglass. Okay. Try to link 8 with hourglass. So far, so good. Okay, it's simple, right? So next, number 9, tennis racket. Okay, now you can think of 9 is a tennis racket. Number 9. Okay, have you done link together? All right, if you have done, you go to number 10. You can think of baseball and bat. Okay. Okay, 5 seconds. Okay, so far so good, right? Now, let's recall. Can you tell me 1 is what? Candle, very good. Okay. How about 2? 2 is dark, very good. You see, you learn very fast. Number 3 is what? Love, well done. Number 4? Yeah, very good. Okay. Number 5? Hand, well done. How about number 6? Ladle. Number 7? Flag, excellent. Okay, number 8 is what? Hourglass. How about number 9? Tennis racket. Okay, very good. The last one, number 10, is what? Baseball and bat. Okay, so now you already store the image and link it with a number. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to use this one and memorize things easily. Okay, so now let's look at the 10 best food that we have just now. So just my suggestion, okay? Like if let's say you want to memorize a list of things, normally they don't have the ranking, right? So to make it easier, I will assign the number. So let's say 1, 2, 3, up to 10. All right. So now I'm going to use the image number and you create some short, very fun story with the terms here. Okay, I'll give you an example. So we know that number 1 is fatty fish. So 1 is what? Candle. Okay, you can think of candle and fatty fish. So I'm going to use candle to grill the fatty fish. Can you think of that one? So you think of a very fun story. The more fun is a story, the easier you can remember and recall it. Very good. So you guys have done the association, right? Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2 is duck and blueberries. Okay, how are you going to make the story? You can share your story on the chat box. The duck died because of eating the blueberries, okay, because it's circle shape, right? So the duck eating a chunk and then die. So you make it funny, then you can remember it easily. Okay, or duck steal my blueberries. Okay, yeah. So now you see everyone have different stories. You just link the image with the numbers image. Okay, now we go to the next one. Number 3 is love and mockery. So what type of stories that you can make? Oh, I love mockery. That's it. How about you think of normally people give the flower, right, to their girlfriend. Okay, maybe you can use the mockery. Okay, make it as a big flower. Then you give it to your girlfriend. So it's good for health, right? Mockery as wedding flower, right? Love is in the air. So you can think of this way. Okay, try to make a short story. Okay, next. Number 4 is yak and chocolate. So how are you going to make the stories here? Okay, I saw some participants are typing. Oh, the yak made by chocolate. Yeah, okay. Yeah, very good. The duck ride on the yak and the fish swam under the yak. Oh, okay. The dark brown yak color. Okay, so this is how you think of, maybe you can think of, I'm going to sail with yak and I need to bring something as a boost energy, so I will bring the dark chocolate. All right, at least it can temporarily solve my hungriness. Okay, you can think of this way. Okay, next. Number 5, hen and walnut. So how are you going to create a story based on these two images? I use hand to get walnut, okay? Okay, from Kellogg, use the hand to break the walnut. So you can think of this way, okay? You can start imagine already, right? It's in your mind now, okay? So breaking news, his hand broke because of walnut. Okay, it's very funny. So that's why you can remember it, right? Okay, next. Number 6 is the ladle and the orange. So what kind of story that you can create? The ladder smack the orange. Okay, I use ladder to get orange, scooping the orange juice with ladder. Yeah, so now you see you start imagining already, right? Link these two with an incident. Okay, very good. Okay, next, number 7, flag and 8. So any other stories to share? The flag was attacked by 8. Oh, I throw eggs on the flag. So yeah, you can think of you're taking the egg and you throw towards the flag. Okay, you can think of this way. Or the egg is rubbed by a flag. Okay, imagine you don't have basket, so you get a flag and then you rub it. Okay, then to bring home. All right, so very good. Next, number 8, green tea. Okay, 8 is the hourglass with green tea. So how are you going to make the story here? Oh, okay. Thanks to JX, the hourglass is filled with green tea. So means inside you change the sand into green tea, but it will be very fast, right? Within a few seconds. All right. Okay. Thanks. Okay, for the stories here. Okay. Enjoy the green tea in your relaxed time. Very good. You relate the hourglass with time. Okay, so you are relaxing, enjoying your green tea also can. Okay, next. Number 9, tennis racket with an avocado. So how are you going to relate it? I hit avocado with racket. Ganasnya. Okay. So you use a tennis racket to throw the avocado. You play tennis using avocado. Okay, maybe one day you can try. Okay, so very good. Next, number 10. Number 10 is a baseball and bat with tomato. So how are you going to relate it? I use baseball bat hit the tomato because I didn't have an actual baseball. Yeah. So you use a bat to hit the tomato, right? And then when you smash, the tomato just spread on your face, right? So you can think of this way. Okay, very funny version. Okay, very good. So now recall. Okay, recall the 1 to 10. Okay, the number image with all the 10 best foods. Okay. So are you ready to challenge? Yes. Okay. Now, so remember, when you think of this way, what happened in our brain? Our brain have left and right brain, okay? Because our left brain is more on analysis. So I'm not sure what's the way of you are using to memorize the items, okay? Because some people, they just memorize. They keep repeat. Means you are actually using your left brain, but you just memorize it without any relation, okay? So when we do what we have done just now, we become more creative because our right brain will get all the image, and then you change the word into the images and you start to make a story. So when you want to recall back, then your left brain will recall it from your right brain and it'll be easy. Okay, now let's try it out. Okay, now I'm going to random the numbers, so not from 1 to 10. So we start from, let's say, number 4. So what's number 4? 4 is what? Yak, right? So yak is with what? Dark chocolate. Very good. Okay, next. Number 7 is what? The flag. Okay, flag connect with what? Egg. Very good. 3 is love. So 3 is what? Number 3 is what? Broccoli. Yeah, see? You can recall in nanosecond, right? Number 5 is hen. So hen is walnut. Very good. Number 10 is a baseball and bat. Tomato. Very good. Okay, number 1 is candle. It's a fatty fish. Very good. Well done. Number 8 is an hourglass. Green tea, right? Inside the hourglass is a green tea. Okay, next. Number 6 is a ladle. So it's orange. Very good. Number 2 is dark. So the dark die because of blueberries, right? Eating the blueberry. Yes, it's blueberries. Very good. The last one, number 9. Number 9 is tennis racket. Yeah, so it's avocado. So do you get it now? So how many of you get it 10 marks? You get it all correct. Get it? Yes. So now, can you check again? How good is your memory now? 1 to 10. If you compare with what you have memorized just now, maybe your traditional way to memorize, and compare with these techniques with a secret recipe I have shared with you, do you think that the marks for your good memory will be increased now? I saw many 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it already increased, right? Maybe it's not full marks, but at least it's increased already. Why? Because you have found the recipe that suit you the most. Are you agree? Yeah, it's improved. So the conclusion here is, when you want to memorize something, right, don't memorize something so deadly, right? You have to use an image, try to associate it, and you can record it very fast. So if you try this way, and of course you need to repeat, okay? Because of the forgetting curve, you cannot say today, oh, I'm able to remember all these 10 best food, but you are going to remember forever. No, you need to repeat it. But when you repeat, it's very fast. Okay? So, are you willing to accept one more challenge? Okay? We're using this method. Okay, let's check one more. Because I prefer you to apply it and you test on yourself. Because I cannot say, oh, this method is good. You have to try and you evaluate yourself, right? If it's good for you, you may use it. Okay, now let's look at this one. Okay, for example, because just now what we've done is each number image you match with one item, right? So it's easier. But what if, let's say, you might think of, oh, there is a list of 10 steps. Let's say step by step. So if you use traditional way, you memorize it, you will find that it's very hard, correct or not? So now we try to integrate it with the recipe that we have shared today. Okay, now let's start to create some stories. Okay, how to achieve your goals in 10 steps. Okay, number 1. Now think of one is a candle with a take action. So, okay, thanks to Mei Wei, you say, candle, my action, okay, is I light up the candle. Okay, or JX candle group 1 take action. Okay, or take action to burn up the candle now. Yeah, all right, you start to make the story. Okay, so done. Okay, we look at number 2. Duck and try hard. You try hard to catch the duck. The duck will run. So you try very hard to catch the duck, right? 2 is duck. So they're very hard to swim fast. Don't try hard to be a duck. Okay, so you can create your own stories. Okay, very good. Number 3, love and keep practicing. So how do you connect them? Use your heart and keep practicing, right? It means you have to practice sincerely, right? Using your heart. So love, okay, keep practice to success your love. Okay, always love to keep practice. So next, number 4, explore a different way. So how to relate it with a yak? Any idea? You want to explore a different way? So imagine you're sailing with a yacht, you want to explore a different way, right? So travel everywhere, someone say, okay. So you can think, okay, you can take some key point here, and then you match with the image here. Next, number 5, ask someone for advice with a hand. Raise hand to ask for advice. See, you have some action. Raise hand to ask someone for advice. Okay, next, number 6, ladder. Do your best. So how are you going to create the story based on this statement with the ladder? Do your best in buying a quality ladder. Do your best to break the ladder. Yeah, so it means, wow, you do your very best, okay, to break or learn to cook better. Okay, so you try to link because everyone have different stories. Okay, so number 7, learn how others did it with the flag. The flag, learn how others did it and won the marathon. Okay, learn to make a meaningful flag. Okay, learn how others did to raise the flag. So you can try to think in your mind now. Okay, next, number 8. Number 8 is hourglass. So what kind of story that you can build upon your strength using the hourglass? You can share your story. Okay, build your strength requires time. Yeah, so build your every hope could determine your strength. So you can start to relate it, right? Okay, number 9, review and fix mistake. Relate with tennis racket. Yes, start thinking how to make the stories here. The tennis racket was being reviewed and they fixed the mistakes. Review and fix your tennis racket. Okay. Tennis racket could break and fix when mistake occur. Hit one time with racket not good, then think back why not good. Okay. So you can think of this way. Very good. Last one. Don't give up with a baseball and bat. Don't give up even though cannot hit the ball. Yeah. Okay. Keep playing baseball. Very good. Baseball and bat like couple never give up, is it? Yeah. Okay. So now I think everyone get it. Let's recall. Okay, let's recall. Now relax your mind. Okay. And we are going to recall now. So let's look at number 1. Okay, number 1 is candle. So what's the step number 1? Take action. Thanks to Joey. Yeah, very good. You see, you learn very fast. Number 2 is dark. Dark. So step 2, try hard. Very good. Number 3 is love. Love is what? Keep practicing. Thanks to Rachel. Right. Very good. Number 4 is yard. Yard is what? You sail with a yacht to explore different way. Okay. Very good. Number 5 is hand. You raise up your hand and ask someone for advice. Okay, number 6 is ladder. Number 6 is ladder. So you will do your best. Very good. Number 7 is the flag. Yeah, thanks to Kaitarati, you learn how others did it, right? You learn how others did it to raise the flag, right? Just now there's a story about this. Okay, next, number 8, hourglass. Hourglass with build upon your strength. Very good. Number 9. Number 9 is tennis racket. Yeah, thanks is review and fix mistakes. The last step, number 10, baseball and bat. Don't give up. Now, do you feel very amazing now? Is it very fast? Even I just randomly call up which step you are able to recall what is that, right? Correct? So this has proven that, okay, if you can relate with an image, your brain can recall it immediately. Okay. So now let's check any difference from a traditional way, okay, from what you have learned today. So it's very simple to learn, right? Do you agree? Is it simple? All about image, right? So we don't really need to have so many things, okay? You don't have to take notes because everything in your mind now, okay? Even I ask you what is a 10 best food, okay, can you tell me what's the number 8 best food? Number 8, hourglass. Now let's recall number 8, green tea. You see, after 10 minutes, after 15 minutes, even though you already memorized the 10 steps, now you can recall the 10 best food as well, right? Let's try one more. Number 3, love. What's the number 3 best food? Broccoli. See? So you see, when I ask you to recall, now you will keep thinking. You try to relate it. And will you mix up with the another steps? No, right? Within the same method, you can use for the different categories. Of course, it should be a different categories. Okay, the research said you can actually use it up to 6 different categories. All right. So if you already have some stories that you make by yourself, when you want to do a revision, you just look through, you can recap immediately. Okay, so this is reliable, right? We already proved. Even though we have done the 10 steps, I ask you back the best food, you're still able to recall it. So it's easy to memorize a list of anything in order. Okay, So, okay, that's it for the secret recipe today. And now we come to the Q&A session. And during the registration, actually some of the participants has posted their question. So I'm going to read out and I will answer you accordingly. So there are few questions which are the similar one. Okay, how to memorize easily in our own mindset. Okay, how to have a good memory, how to memorize things in a fun way and using less time, how to recall to anything immediately, and the secret to be able to retain learning point and apply when needed. So I believe the recipe that I have shared with you all today has answered this question, right? The main thing is you associate it with images, okay? And then you create some very fun story and you can record it, okay? So another question, how to apply these memorize techniques in small children? That means refer to the early childhood education field. For the young children, right? Because I myself is, although I'm graduate from education, but my study is mainly focused on the secondary school students and above. So in my opinion, because I have a 2 years old baby, okay, it's not baby, it's toddler already. So when I teach my girl, actually they are not memorized. At this stage for the early childhood, I think they are at the stage of recognizing. That means they recognize this shape and they relate with a term that learn. Like let's say I told them, I'll tell my girl, like she will show me the C alphabet. I'll tell her like this C. Then you'll say, oh, okay, C. So I think they learn through touching. They touch the shape and they recognize the shape and they are able to name and relate it. Okay, so I don't think it's able to apply the memorizing techniques. Okay, if they are too young. Because another question asks, can we learn such techniques from which age? The suggestion here is when the kids are able to understand. Understand means they understand our instruction, they understand what we want, and they understand what they need to do. Right? If let's say you tell a 3 years old baby, you shouldn't run here and there. Will they listen to you? No, they don't understand. Because when you're shouting at them, they'll feel so excited and they will just keep running and running, right? And they're so excited to looking at you, become so angry, right? So, and then another question, how about memorizing equation in statistics? Okay, I'm teaching the math and statistics subject, but I don't think that for math and statistics, you need to memorize equation. No, it's not that way. Because for math, it's more on understanding. If you understand the concept, you understand how this equation derive, then you're able to apply it. And furthermore, nowadays, we actually don't request you to write out the formula, right? You have a list of formula to refer to. So most important things is you know how to apply it in a different condition, right? If you say want to memorize, I think it's a concept. Let's say that in the statistics, there is so many concepts, right? All right, and there are formula like under the probabilities. Usually, I will try to use an image, okay? Because let's say under probability, you have a tree diagram, or you can use a table, or the Venn diagram. So all these diagrams can help you to build the formula. This is the way I teach my students, okay? Okay, next question. What's the best way to memorize studied materials, as I tend to forget the things I memorized before, especially during final assessment? This one must be Utah students. Okay, so I won't say there's a best way to memorize, but that is the most suitable way to help you to memorize things, okay? Because it's very different from individuals and also very different based on a different subject, right? Like maths, actually we don't really memorize, but you need to understand. You have to see everything in a big picture. You have to link from here to there. So usually for maths, sometimes for statistic course, I will use mind map help my students to see the relation from this subtopic to another subtopic. So they know, oh, okay, this is how they link together. Okay, so the recipe that you learned today is actually more suitable for remember a list of things, maybe a list of steps. Okay, usually I use it to memorize the terms. Okay, so let's say there are 10 components on what. So I will use this method, then I can recall easily. Okay, because there are so many ways and the techniques in the memorizing skills. Okay, so next one, there are few well-known tips for memorize easily. I have tried some of them. However, most of them involve memorizing chunks of information. So what tips do you give to memorize things like names, birthday, dates, and phone numbers? Okay, so this one, they actually have another techniques. Okay, so for the phone numbers and the birthday dates, they also use an image and creating a story, just like what you did, but it's slightly different. Okay, so if next time you have an opportunity to learn, you can use that way. And for the names, right, I think because when we want to recognize someone, you need to know their face first, right? Now imagine you have meet some new friends, okay, and let's say one day you meet them around in Utah, so for sure you will recognize their face first, right? But you might forget their name. Okay, so to prevent this incident, what you can do is maybe you can think of a very funny or special character on this person and you relate it with his or her name. For example, I myself, my story is during my school time, I think most of the teacher or lecturer, they can remember my name. Why? Because my name is so special. When they call my name, they say, Catherine C? Then I say, yes, I am. Then I say, your name is Catherine C. What, huh? Because normally for Chinese, they will say, even though for Christian, in front there you have an English name, but behind it you should have a Chinese name, right? The Mandarin name. But very funny, my IC don't have just Catherine C. So that's make me so special. And that's why my lecturer and the teacher can remember me. Okay, so this is one of it. Or you can relate like my name is Catherine, so cat, C-A-T. So maybe you can think of I chased by the cat. Okay, so next time when you see me, you relate with cat, so you will understand that, oh, this is Miss Catherine. Yeah. Okay. So any other questions? So I think there are no more questions. All right. So thank you very much for today's, okay, and for hearing and share your stories with me. Okay, so before you leave the meeting, I would like to say thank you so much.